Hi everyone, today is August 16th, 2019, and I'm going to do some reading about the quality and crisis of water in America. And I'm going to use the papers as my sources that I have. So, I'm a little disorganized, I apologize. Can you, no, come on, I'm just doing this. Stop, go. Alright, on July 26th, 2019 in USA Today, we have multiple, it's in the national news, we have multiple issues with water. I have outlined them, so I'm going to read them to you. Anchorage, Alaska. The Department of Health and Social Services reports a person experienced PCP symptoms after eating a clam harvested near Perryville, the first reported illness this year. So where do clams live? They live in the water. She's got to be up here, so I got to move over. Come on, get over here, get up here. This is my dog interrupting me because she moved around. Sorry. So we have issues with animal life in the water absorbing something to cause issues in our health. Arizona, Phoenix, environmental regulators have issued a high pollution advisory for ozone of the Phoenix military area. That's air. But what is in the air as well? Clouds. And what do clouds carry? Rain. If you do not believe that clouds do not collect particle dust that are contaminated, then you must not believe that we do not seed clouds for rain. If you can seed a cloud for rain, then a cloud can, as it goes through air, collect dust, fine particles of dust, and then when it rains, it coats the land with whatever chemical it has encountered. So that's how it goes together for me. Okay. In Indiana, Peru, a proposed 9,200 head hog farm is moving forward despite opposition from residents who say it'll hurt property values, and environmentalists worry about proximity to a large reservoir. It is true. We know in the state of Wisconsin, fecal matter runoff causes problem in wells. And in a farm that has almost 10,000 pigs, that's a lot of shit. Sorry, but it is. So these people definitely have something to worry about. Where are you going to put all that poop? Come on now. Kind of need to get off our bacon habit, although I like bacon too. We need to find some other better substitute because these huge animal farms with their products that endanger the environment are not cohesive for the technology that we have at our disposal to create products that are similar to meat but not meat. Mississippi, Jackson, water contact warnings are in place for all Mississippi beaches because of harmful bloom of blue-green algae, but at other times water contact warnings and advisories are issued for another reason: fecal matter. The reason why you have algae exploding in rivers, lakes, beaches is because you have everyone using these herbicides, pesticides. So we dump chemicals to kill weeds and bugs, and then we dump chemicals to ensure growth. These chemicals run into the water. The algae goes crazy when we have the growth chemicals going through the water system. Plus, it causes cancer. I cannot believe people are still running around dumping Roundup on your yards. People, when you go around and you spray the yards with Roundup, and you're spraying your neighbor's yard with Roundup, you're basically saying, I don't care if I poison your environment. I don't care if you get sick from these chemicals, because I want my lawn to look like this. All right, those chemicals are going to go into your groundwater, and you're going to drink them too, and you're going to get cancer as well. But you know what? Your neighbor don't want cancer, so they get pissed off that you're dumping chemicals next to their lawn property line. Think, people, think. Where does everything go? If it goes into the ground, where does it go? Use your brain. I know you people are smart. Vermont, Salisbury, University of Vermont herpetology lecturer James Andrews estimates that the population of northern leopard frog has leaped 100-fold in a region near the Otter Creek in Addison because of a very wet spring. Officials in Utah, South Oregon, are searching for a source of possible contamination after dozens of fish and ducks are found dead in the creek. Every year there is a huge die-off in the O'Plain flowage of fish. It has to do with the farmer runoff of fecal matter, because that cuts the oxygen, the over amount of algae that cuts the oxygen, and the poisons cuts the oxygen. The fish die. They're laying all over the beach. It smells funny. Dubay doesn't experience this because the O'Plain flowage is used to keep Dubay at a certain level, because Dubay residents pay a lot in taxes, so they want their lake to look pretty. But what Dubay will start to experience is the chemical byproducts of what's coming from the O'Plain flowage into it eventually. You can guarantee that. And the wealthy people are going to be pissed when dead fish start rolling up. Trust me. Wyoming, Fort Loraine. Governor Mark Gordon has declared a state of emergency to help farmers in Wyoming and Nebraska affected by irrigation system failures. So where some people have too much water, other people do not have enough water. So that is that. Now, on August 2nd, Evers initiates target nitrates that are polluting groundwater. Governor Tony Evers said Wednesday his administration is calling for new regulations to protect drinking water in rural Wisconsin. We are rural. Marshfield is not rural, but we have farms around our area. So we're a small city located in a rural area. So that's us. Okay, us. Protect drinking water in rural Wisconsin by limiting excessive spreading of key chemicals found in manure and fertilizer. High nitrate levels have been associated with blue baby syndrome, colorectal cancer, thyroid disease, which I suffer from, which causes massive mood problems, and some birth defects affecting the central nervous system. You see people, younger people with shakes, it's because of the nitrates in our water. We need to figure out a way for farmers to become more eco-friendly, because they're destroying their environment. They're destroying our environment. There are more people, we need more food, we need more animals, which means more waste. We need to find a system or a way that eliminates the nitrates out of our water and allows the farmer to continue to make money, because farming is a special job. Not everyone is able to be as dedicated and as hardworking as farming people are. 10% of private wells in Wisconsin have high levels of nitrate, and that's according to the State Department of Health Services, but that's only according to people who have allowed them to test their wells. Not everyone has said, yes, you can test my wells, because if your well is out of code, I think that's a very expensive problem. But in some regions, including southwestern and central Wisconsin, reports well contamination is much higher. So in some other places, they've tested the wells, and they found it to be higher. So if it's higher in a place of Wisconsin that has less farmers, and we live where there's more, and I don't think I'm bashing the farmer, I'm not. I'm just saying something needs to change about how we treat the environment with fertilizer and fecal matter. we've got to figure something else out because it's poisoning us as citizens. We're paying to be poisoned. Here, I want a steak, $7.89. Okay, that cow. Or I want bacon, $4.25. Okay, that pig. Multiply by me, by many, many people that want the steak or the bacon, whatever, or both. We are all contributing to the problem financially. So there must be something changing. There must be a change. Because I don't want to pay to poison myself. And I want people to continue to be employed on the nature that they find to be pleasing to them. So, Ever said that 30% of private wells are estimated to exceed the state's health system. These are people in the country that are drinking this, causing health problems within themselves that are employed farming. So they're poisoning themselves as well. And that was in this paper right here. Okay? Now, back to the yard thing. On USA Today, July 23rd, 2019. Your yard is messy. That'll cost you a lot of money in Florida, like $103,559. So, what I'm saying is, in some areas, if you don't have a good-looking yard and you don't want to sit outside and weed, and you know what, it just rained really hard here in central Wisconsin, it's going to be very easy to pull the weeds today because the soil's soft. You can pull them up very easily. You do not have to use the Roundup today if you have time to do that. If you don't have time to do that, but you have enough money to buy Roundup, maybe you have some grandchildren, don't buy the Roundup. Give them the money to go do it. Just saying. Just saying. There's creative ways. So in Florida, Christy Allen read the letter and thought it had to be a scam. It said over $92,600 in fines for overgrown vegetation and a stagnant swimming pool at a house she no longer owned. She must pay in 2 weeks, the letter said, and it hinted she could be sued if she didn't. Including interest charges and other fees, her debt swelled to $103,559, about twice her yearly income. 2 months later, in late 2018, the city of Dunedin sued to collect, settling off another legal fight over how local governments use their power to impose heavy fines on citizens. So if you feel pressured to weed and all that, Americans can help Americans. I just spent probably 2 weeks weeding a woman's yard who I knew for years, and her yard always looked exceptional, and she was sick and she couldn't do it. I did not get paid to do that. I did that because I knew that yard was where she went and it was her sanctuary, and she did not feel comfortable being out there, as well as her allergies. And I took my time to weed her yard because I wanted it to look good for her, and I wanted the environment better for everyone around, because, you know, that becomes a health problem if you have people with severe allergies and there's too many weeds. And cities will fine you. So if you can't take the time, someone else could help you. We can help each other. We don't have to be like, I have to have something for everything that I do. That's not the way the world really works. Sometimes you do something for someone they can't do themselves. That's how the world should really work. And no one should have to do it because it's the godly thing or anything like that. Just do it because your heart says so. You know? A lot of people do really honestly try to help a lot of people, and it can become a messy situation. But if you feel like you're just doing it to help someone, then you shouldn't feel like you need anything in return, and then you keep yourself out of the mess. And if you feel like you're being manipulated, then you just gotta move on. That's basically it. But you know, the city can fine you if you don't keep your property in a neat looking manner, as they did here in Florida. Let's see here. It continues on 3A. Do I have 3A yet? Yeah, here we go. Oh, it's quite an extensive article. She said that there was a crackdown on code violations, and the city collected nearly $3.6 million in fines. And they also got upset about recreational vehicles parked on the side of the road. The Supreme Court ruled in February that local governments can't impose excessive fines. So then the Supreme Court said you can't put this kind of pressure on people. What more than likely happened is you had neighborhoods that had just degenerated, and the city got frustrated and just started to impose outrageous fines, because Florida's an expensive place to live. So they want it to look nice. Let's see here. And so Dundon officials declined to be interviewed, but instead, through a spokesman, that the fines they impose are neither excessive nor abusive. I don't know, $103,000 seems crazy for a fine. Dundon's code enforcement policies are meant to protect the integrity of the neighborhoods and the quality of community. City-county records show that at least 33 homeowners owed the city $20,000 or more in fines as of May. To me, that seems way too high. Wait a sec. Where do these fines go? What do they use these fines for? You know what I mean? Where are they putting that money towards the fines? Who's making the money by fining these people? That I would be like, vote out. You're moving around. You can't do that. That's just I don't agree with this. The city fined a man nearly $30,000 because of a chronic overgrown yard. They fined a couple $31,000 for fixing their roof without a permit after a tree fell on it in a hurricane. That's way too much government. They're using a shotgun to kill a mouse, said Bill Prescott, who was fined $43,000 because of an inoperative car and a pile of dried leaves in his front yard and plants that grew over the street. Prescott, who lives with his wife in Tallahassee, said he became ill last year and couldn't make the long drive to Dundon to maintain his second home. Fines of $250 a day piled up without his knowledge. So they fine you because they saw something, but then they don't inform you. That's really terrible. These city officials sound like snakes in the grass, much like their python problem in the Everglades. It's almost Gestapo-like. You can have a screw in the wrong spot. It's an easy fix, but until you get that contractor to come back out there and sign off on it, these fines are running every day. So if you have something in the works, apparently, that you're fixing it, I guess that makes it workable, but I suspect that the contractors are really busy. Like, it's hard to find people to do jobs sometimes. After a tree smashed a corner of a roof of Pickett's rental property during a Hurricane Irma 2 years ago, he bought $300 worth of wood and other supplies at Home Depot and fixed the damage himself. The city fined him $200 a day for fixing a roof without a permit. The fines racked up while Pickett scrambled to find a locally licensed roofer who would sign off on his repairs. He and his wife owe $31,000. It sounds like this city in Florida needs someone to stand up to this. These guys are out of control. But like I said, don't use the Roundup. I mean, I suspect these people feel a lot of pressure. They're using the Roundup. But don't use the Roundup. That causes cancer. Find creative ways to get your weeds pulled or your yard looking nice. You don't need to make the environment worse. I really hope that you can understand that message. And I hope everybody's having a good day. And enjoy life, please. Thank you. Bye.